Hi guys, you've heard me talk about Asea for a few months now. I've been using it myself and I can tell you that I feel 20 years younger and everybody keeps telling me how great my skin looks. But I want you to understand the science behind it. And so here's a little bit from this doctor here and I hope it helps you understand that this is the real deal.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Silverman. I am a retired board certified foot surgeon. I'm 64 years old and I feel like I'm 30 because of what we're going to talk about here. But I sit on the medical professionals board of a company called Asea that has a breakthrough product that you are probably investigating right now for your own reasons. You either have a health issue yourself, or you love somebody that does, you want to see if it can help them, or you just want to look younger because it has a really remarkable anti-aging, age-fighting benefit for the skin and hair and nails, or athletic performance enhancement, or you just want to stay well, or you're looking at the opportunity. But it all hinges, all of it hinges upon if this is real or not. And I've been doing this for a long time, 13 years. And I can tell you that one of the most common questions we hear is, well, I read online it's just salt water. Also here, why don't we know about it as well? We'll talk about both here. The point of this video is so that you can see and understand why it's made from salt water, but it isn't salt water anymore. Now, common sense would tell you that a company that's been around at this point since 2009, and at this point in 2024 has done 1.3 billion in sales and is in 34 countries, shipped all over the world, that you can't fool people with something that's just salt and water for that long. Common sense, right? But there are ways to validate it also, and I'm going to show you that. Now I'm going to tell you there is a drink version of this. You drink this oral, and this is a topical version called Renew 28. It's the same thing, but this is cellular health from the outside in. This is cellular health from the inside out. So let me show you about the salt water, why it's made from salt water. So I'm going to share my screen. First of all, that's my dad and my brother with almost 2 years, a year and a half ago. My dad is the reason I looked at this initially 13 years ago, and my friend brought this to me. It sounded too good to be true, but my dad was really ill, so I took the time to look at it, and thank God that I did. Again, whatever your reason for looking at it, just take it seriously, but I'm just going to address the whole salt water thing. So the company sends the product out to third-party labs, to universities to do studies, double-blind studies. There's all this validation. If you go to gettingyounger.club, and click deeper research, deeper science and research, you'll find everything, okay? But let's talk about this. Why is it made from salt and water? When you look at the label, it says the ingredients in Asea is sodium, chloride, and water. Okay, why is that? Because what's in this bottle is in you. Your cells make this now, but you made more of it when you were younger. And you see what happens to us as we age. We slow down. We don't heal as quickly from injuries. We get more conditions. You don't see a lot of joint problems and eye pressure problems and hormone problems in younger people. As we get older, we develop these things. Well, it corresponds to us producing less and less of this. So redox signaling molecules are in us. Our body makes it from saline. You're going to see why. But when I was a child, I produced a lot. And as soon as I went through puberty, I produced less. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. 63, I'm making this much right now, whether I drink this or not. But I raised my levels up to what they were when I was younger by drinking this because it's identical to what's in me. And what it does is it enhances signaling. I'm not going to go through everything that this does. If you go to gettingyoungerclub.com, you'll see, I think it's number 3 and 4, I think it is. What are redox molecules and how do they work? Go there, you'll get more explanation. Okay, so why does the company make this product from water and sodium chloride? And understand that it's patented, there's intellectual property on this, trade secrets, but why does it say that on the label? Because remember, it's in you already. Our cells are filled with salt water. Your cells are filled with salt water. If you know that, if you're a medical person, of course they are. But if you're not, really? Yeah. When you cry, what does it taste like? Salty. When you sweat, what does it taste like? Salty. When you go to the hospital and you get an IV, do they give you water in that IV? No, they give you something with sodium chloride because they're rehydrating you. This pink ovule is a cell, represents a cell, and it's filled with saline. That's why they give you sodium chloride saline solution in an IV, right? Well, inside your cell floats the mitochondria, where these little redox molecules are created. Now, people know the mitochondria as being the power plant of the cell because that's where we convert our foods into the molecule we burn for fuel called adenosine triphosphate, ATP. But during the production of ATP, we also produce these little tiny molecules called reductants and oxidants. And that's where the term redox comes from. Remember, our mitochondria decline at puberty, so we produce less ATP. Kids have unending energy, and our energy starts to decrease. We're stronger and faster at 20, but we don't have that unending energy that we have as children. And we certainly don't heal as quickly from the same injury at 20 that we did at 10. And we heal slower at 30 than we did at 20, and 50 slower than we did at 30. Okay, so you can see that the mitochondria floats in saline, all right? So is Asea salt water? No, but it was salt water. So here, saline, salt water, is sodium chloride and H2O, water. It's two molecules. Well, inside your mitochondria, they get split apart and separated into the separate ions. So it's no longer sodium chloride, it's sodium and chloride. It's no longer H2O, it's hydrogen and oxygen. And now those can be used as building blocks to create completely different molecules that are called redox signaling molecules. So an example would be a Lego set. Everybody's played Lego, right? You take all the pieces, you put together, you make a house. Sits on the table. It's like, oh, that looks nice. After a couple of days, you get tired of it. You take it apart, and then you build a car. You use the same building blocks to make a completely different structure. It's the same thing here. An example. What are some redox molecules? Let's just do H2O2. See it at the bottom there? H2O2, two hydrogens and two oxygens. That is a redox molecule. It's not water, is it? Because water is H2O. This is H2O2. In fact, you probably have a bottle of that in your house, in a brown bottle. And when you cut yourself outside, you have an injury, it's dirty, you pour it on there and it bubbles up. What is it? It's hydrogen peroxide. Did you know that's a redox molecule? Did you know your body makes hydrogen peroxide right now? How do you think it got there? Did you drink your hydrogen peroxide in your house? I hope you didn't do that, but that's not how it got there. What happened was your body took the building blocks, two hydrogens and two oxygens, and made a completely different molecule. That's not water, right? So your body can make many different redox molecules. So another way to explain this is, let's play a game. I'm going to put a word on the screen, and I want you to look at it. There's the word there, T-H-E-R-E. Do you see any other words that you can make from that word? Do you see other words in that word? Some of you saw the word, or see the word he, her, thee. Does the meaning of the word he have anything to do with the meaning of the original word there? Absolutely not. What you did was you took the building blocks, the letters, and you created words with completely different meanings. This is exactly what your body does. It's taking the building blocks and making molecules that are completely different molecules. So again, in this short video, I hope I clarified for you that why this has to be made from salt water, because it's identical to what's in you. That also is what makes it so safe compared to pharmaceuticals, right? Pharmaceuticals, you could be allergic to a pharmaceutical, it could interact with another pharmaceutical, and pharmaceuticals are toxic. Medicines are toxic. They're not supposed to be in your body. If they could be in your body, you wouldn't have dosages, right? But if you have a headache, you take 2 Tylenol, right? If you had a really bad headache, you say, oh, this is a bad one, I'm going to take 10 or 20. No, because it'll kill you. There's no toxicity to this. You can't be allergic to it. It doesn't interfere with medicines. It's in you. And there's no toxicity. If you drink too much of it, you don't overdose. Your body turns the excess back into saline. And by the way, for people that say, oh, I can't take this, I have high blood pressure, it's salt, it has salt and water, there's very little sodium in it. The main components are hydrogen and oxygen, but the sodium and chloride are critical to be in here. But there's more sodium in a glass of milk than there is in 4 ounces of this. A slice of bread has more sodium than 4 ounces of this. Now, I'm going to show you how to prove to yourself that it's not salt water very quickly. Okay. And this is something with a product that's as safe as water, comes with a money back guarantee. It's pretty easy to do this. Anybody that wants to validate it can validate it like that. The liquid can take 1 to 90 days for you to see changes in your body. You know, if you have sleeping problems, breathing problems, whatever, just baseline everything. I shot a video called how to use redox.com, how to use redox.com. You see how to use the product. But give this 90 days, you'll see that. But you'll also see in that video the gel. Now, the gel is the drink in a gel form. They concentrate it. It's called Renew 28. It's clear. There's no smell. There's no greasiness. I'm putting it on my face. I'm putting it on my eyelids. Why am I doing that? Because it is marketed as a cosmetic product, not a makeup product, but it makes your skin younger. You take pictures at the beginning of the month, take pictures every week, take close, you'll see what happens to wrinkles. It's amazing. Cellulite too. But there's a way for you to validate, salt water wouldn't do that, but there's a way for you to validate that this is real very quickly, and it doesn't take a month. It takes 10 minutes. And here's what you do. It's not for wrinkles. It's for a problem that a lot of people have. Not everybody. You might have it to some degree. Some have it a little bit. Some have it terribly. Some are can't even walk, right? And it's things that hurt, right? It could be your carpal tunnel area. It could be your finger joints. It could be your back, your neck, a menstrual cramp, your knee, anything. Okay. This is really cool. I'm smiling because I know what you'll see. You find 10 people that are hurting and do your own little test. And anybody that ever says that it's salt water to you, you'll say, you are wrong. Not because of the studies, not because the company's so old, been around for so long, for 15 years, they've done billion in sales, not because all of that, but because you will have seen something unbelievable happen. And here it is. Find 10 people who are hurting and ask them for 10 minutes. They're going to rate their discomfort level on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being horrible, 1 being a little bit. You get a baseline on that, and then you're going to ask them again in 10 minutes. So what do? They shake up the gel, and they take it and they put it on the area that hurts. So if the neck is a 3, they put it on the neck like this. Just enough so it's a little bit wet. So in about a minute, it's going to dry. And then you do it again the second time, and then it dries. And you do it again the third time. That's it. 3 times in the first 5 minutes. Put it on 3 times in the first 5 minutes. And in the total of 10 minutes, ask those 10 people how they feel. Watch how many of them say this. How did it do that? How did it do that? How did it do that? Watch the excitement in their face. You watch carefully how many say that. We can't make medical claims about this. This is not a medical product. This is a breakthrough product. Watch the Genesis video at gettingyounger.club.com, and you'll see how this company started and how they didn't sell out to a pharmaceutical company. But you watch the expression on 9 of the 10 people. It might be 20 out of 20, but I'll just say 9 out of 10. I'm not saying they're going to go from a 10 to a 0, although they very well might. And they can be open-minded or closed-minded. It doesn't really make any difference. They have to be honest. I'm saying how many of them say, how did it do that? There's a dramatic change here. And you'll know a few things. 1, it's not salt water. 2, redox is real. And if you're not seeing results on this quickly, you will stick with it for 90 days, because that's really what you should do, is be on it for 90 days. And you will have had your validation that it's real here. 3rd, you'll realize that you know about something before everybody else. And if you're opportunistic, if you are, you realize you know about something before everybody else, because you'll also realize that if you looked at your cell phone and you looked at all the contacts you have in there, if they did what you just did on 10 people and they saw 9 people say that, it's very easy for anybody to validate it. If it was that easy for you to validate it, that it's real, it'll be easy for anybody to validate it. So when people, the other question I mentioned before is people say, oh, if it's this good, why don't we know about it? And they say it before they've seen it work, they say that. If it works this way, if it's that great, why don't we know about it, right? Well, when they put the gel on 10 people, after they've done that, then they say, God, why doesn't anybody know about this? And that's where the opportunity side of it is. And this video is not about the opportunity. This is just to show you that it's not salt water, because this product is a breakthrough. And this version of it is what opens people's minds up. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you use it. When next time somebody says to you, "Oh, it's just salt water," very easy for you to validate it. Very easy for them to validate it. Thank you.